Well, Rabiot to United talks resume. Lots of contradicting reports coming in from Italy. One source revealing that he's signing a contract with Juventus this Wednesday. The other source revealing to us that United have gone ahead to resume contact with Rabiot. Welcome to United Matters channel. How are you guys? And where you're watching us from, I go by the names of Rock and David. Smash the like button, comment and share. If you're watching us for the very first time, endeavor to subscribe to this channel so as not to miss out on stories that we do upload in here on a daily. We are talking Harry Maguire, Jadon Sancho up for sale by Man United. And lastly, we are here to discuss something concerning David De Gea and really give you the wider thoughts onto his deal to stay or leave Man United very soon. So let's do these stories and let's get close to 300 likes. Smash this video and don't forget to subscribe because we want to hit how many subscribers? For 10,000 subscribers before the end of this month. And this is Rock and David. You can call me RD onto this channel, bringing you strictly Man United news all over the world. Now, today in the morning, had a story coming in, Giovanni Albanese coming in from TV dello Sporto. He has told us that Manchester United have started contacts with Rabiot and is ready to negotiate his free transfer. Juventus is waiting for an answer. Now, Rabiot to Man United. You know, some fans miss out on certain things that they don't know. You know, I always relate on players that Ten Hag has wanted to improve, like Adrien Rabiot, whose talent is really known as vast as that of Rabiot. Now, when you look at Manchester United, it's a team that it needs some time to evolve into what we call a world-class team, to compete with the likes of Man City, Real Madrid, and so on and so forth. But with all that said, you have to know that Rome was not built in one day. You know, elevating from Fred to Jude Bellingham is not easy because players like Jude Bellingham in this transfer window will cost £120 million, something that you cannot go ahead and obviously finance every season because at least an elite team will always go out and really bring in 3 players every summer transfer window and obviously offload some players and sell some. So, when you look at Manchester United, I've always asked this question that from Fred or Scott McTominay to Rabiot, is it a very good upgrade? I think it's good, very good, because you're bringing a player who can play as a CDM and can play the double pivot and can also play as a left back. He can play as a central attacking midfielder. He can also play as a left wing back. Sorry, he can also play as a right attacking midfielder and a left attacking midfielder. That's what you get from Rabiot. You know, he offers a lot that Fred can't offer and Scott McTominay can't offer. Now, I find it very insane for someone who supports United to say to it that I don't want Rabiot. You know, this player is not going to come to United for money. He's coming out as a free agent. So, if it was all about money, then it would have been something different because he's really the kind of player that you'll say they are calling in for £20 million. Let's add on some amount of money and get so on. So, but he's a free agent, and we look at the budget of Manchester United. For us to perform better and get in close to 5 signings, we need in a free agent, and we are blessed with the availability of Adrien Rabiot that he's ready to really all make his move to Man United. You know, and if at all he comes in through, we'll know that at least we are going in for one central midfielder. Even if we go in for Mason Mount, that will be okay. If at all you've been watching my videos of Mason Mount, I've been asking myself, why is United going in for a midfielder who cannot play in the single pivot or a defensive pivot where Casemiro plays? That has always been my concern. But it looks like it might be a blessing this case for not getting Mason Mount, and maybe we get Moise Caicedo, because if at all you get in Moise Caicedo, even if we sign one central midfielder, that will be okay because he can do what Rabiot does, he can do what Mason Mount does. And to my own understanding, it has always been good and better to have a player like Rabiot into our team. So I downplay everyone who comes out and really throws in spoilers of this deal, like which other team is interested in him. I understand Bayern Munich is interested in him. Thomas Tuchel wants to unite with him. Barcelona is one of those that is really interested in the player, and him being interested in the player they found themselves in a situation of not having money to sign him until they've gone ahead to unveil Gundogan as their latest signing on a free. So when you look at Adrien Rabiot, he brings more to the club of Man United than Mason Mount. The only midfielder in the market that brings more than him is Moise Caicedo, because he is young and he has a very high ceiling ahead of him. But Rabiot is an improved breed of Scott McTominay and Fred, because they are two players who cannot do a job single-handedly that a CDM can do, and Rabiot can get into that midfield and obviously get the job done. But as we are still reporting that story, we've got a story coming in from Corridor Sport about Rabiot. They've told us that Rabiot will sign the renewal with Juventus on Wednesday. The Bianconeri club, sorry about that, has come to agreement with his mother, who acts as his agent. Now, I will understand that Wednesday is coming after tomorrow, and you're going to see how this is going to pan out, because Juventus don't want to lose Rabiot, but we have a lot to offer to Rabiot. One, we are going to offer him a huge salary, more than what Juventus is going to offer him. Secondly, we are offering Champions League football that Juventus is not offering him. So, if I told you to put that onto the weighing scale, trust me, we have all the chances to win this Rabiot deal. And I understand that unless otherwise, we're not offering some good money to Rabiot, but he'll come to Man United. Unless otherwise, we are not strictly linked or straightly linked to him, and it's just news coming in from the camp of Juventus. Coming from the camp of Rabiot to see to it that they force Juventus to get the amount of money that they deserve. Because right now, if I told you put out a story that United is back, Juventus will fidget. They will rush to see to it that they dance to the tunes of Rabiot's mother. So it might be a negotiation tactic, but what brought us to all this level and what led to Juventus to start negotiating with the mother of Rabiot to see to it that Rabiot finds himself in a position of staying at Juventus? We've been told that the player himself was quite surprised. There hasn't been more fuss over the fact he could move. This is a player that would upgrade pretty much any squad, and more than that, he would make most starting lineups better. Obviously, he has, and he's a very good player that you really understand about. When you look at Man City, they would have gone in for him, but they decided to go in for a more proven player, that is Kovacic, to come into that midfield of Man City and get the job done. But at Man United, if there is a team that needs Rabiot, I think it's Man United. For that, I would welcome the signing. I know what he offers. He's not an injury-prone player. He has goals in him. The physicality is really great, and he can obviously complement Casemiro very, very well. So to me, I'm a little bit hurt. That's it. If at all this deal doesn't happen, because who are we going to get in then? Because he's a player who get in on a free, get the Mason Mount deal done, and you call it a midfield summer transfer window done. Then we focus on the goalkeeper, we focus on to the right-sided centre-back, and maybe two strikers that Erik ten Hag is looking at to bring in the club of Man United. So the deal of Rabiot to Manchester United still has lots of question marks as far as it's concerned, with Juventus offering him a new deal, and we don't know whether he's going to go ahead and really put pen to paper onto that new deal that is going to be provided to him by Juventus. All that and more, let's wait on Wednesday, and Wednesday is not far away. Just 48 hours away from now, that's when we'll be knowing whether he has gone ahead to really put pen to paper. But even Fabrizio Romano happened to report to us that they are coming close, and maybe the situation of Mason Mount has forced United to go ahead and really say, all right, let's go ahead and really try to contact the mother and see whether we can get this deal over the line. So that is coming in from Corridor Sport, obviously confirming to us the deal of Rabiot. Talks resuming with Man United. Now, Chris Wheeler, football writer for the Daily Mail, told us that Man United would listen offers in the region of £45 million for Sancho. Maguire will be allowed to leave if a £40 million offer comes in. Manchester United would ask in the region of £40 million to sell Scott McTominay. Now, Maguire, don't even want to talk about him, because you all know that he's a calamity at Man United and he deserves to be sold. I understand West Ham are interested in him and he might take him, but the player is reluctant to leave the club of Man United as is the captain. However much he's not playing, he's earning £200,000 a week, and he's still having his spot at the national team. But I understand if at all he keeps not getting that spot, he might even miss out on the Euros of 2024 happening next year, meaning that if at all he was wise and his agent, they would have gone ahead to be pushing in for a move out of Manchester United. But Harry Maguire looks like he's reluctant to leave. But United are really so much in the mood to sell Harry Maguire, and they are calling in for £40 million. Scott McTominay is another one that has always been linked out of Man United, and United rejected a bid of £30 million coming in from Newcastle. And I asked myself, how naive is Man United? So, if I'm Man United in the January transfer window, I go ahead and obviously buy Sofiane Amrabat, get him in, and obviously sell Scott McTominay, because Sofiane Amrabat offers more than what Scott McTominay offers to the club of Man United. And as it stands, he's one of those players that is being looked at as one of those players that can make the squad of Erik ten Hag. Yet for us, wouldn't like to see Scott McTominay, Fred, and Harry Maguire board the plane to USA for the preseason. We wouldn't. Now, the shocking bit of it is Jadon Sancho. I don't know why they are putting Jadon Sancho into the mix, because I believe Jadon Sancho is an Erik ten Hag player. That is it. People are judging Jadon Sancho that's going to hit return from what we call the rehabilitation from Netherlands, and forgetting that Jadon Sancho that started the season way better. You know, at the start of the season, we all knew that Sancho was firing all cylinders in the preseason, and he came in through and scored a goal against Liverpool. He scored one against Southampton. He put up an assist against Southampton for Bruno Fernandes. Then he went ahead to really decide very many games as far as the game of football is concerned. He scored a beauty against a certain team. Is it FC something that we played in the UEFA Europa League? He was really blasting and was really looking great. But I wonder why people are really saying that Sancho is up for sale. I don't see why United can sell how many homegrown players? Elanga, Harry Maguire, Scott McTominay, Jadon Sancho. That is out. They cannot sell all those homegrown players. I think the only two players that I see leaving is Harry Maguire, Scott McTominay, Brandon Williams, Elanga. Those will leave. But Jadon Sancho, he still has a lot to offer. He's just 22 years of age, 22, 23 years of age, and people are just wanting him out. And Ten Hag believes that he can get the best out of this player. And if at all you saw the way Ten Hag will try to really jungle him around the pitch, play him as a central defense, as central attacking midfielder, play him as a right attack midfielder, left attack midfielder. So he knows that there is a talent in Sancho. And one thing that you people have gone ahead to forget about Sancho is that he has improved on his work rate, something that used to annoy Erik ten Hag, and that's why he threw him out of the match when you're playing Chelsea that ended 1-1 at Stamford Bridge. So at the look of things, it's known in my mind that Sancho is going to leave. That is it. I believe there is a player in him that Ten Hag can improve and really get more and more out of the player. And these people are really forgetting that he had played well before the FA Cup finale. And most of the people are really relating this to the FA Cup finale because he had a very bad game. But tell me, apart from Bissaka, Luke Shaw, Rafael Varane and Victor Lindelof and Garnacho, who else had a good game on the day? Can I hear you again? Who had a good game on the day apart from those ones we're going to have to mention? No one. So, I think he played well against Chelsea, for that goal he created for Anton Martial. And he played well against Fulham. On the right side, even scored a goal. So, I wonder why people are really so much insinuative about the situation with Jadon Sancho. I believe he's here to stay. And Ten Hag believes that if there is any thoughts of selling him, maybe next summer, he needs to give him one more season at Man United and obviously see what he's all about. Now, lastly, the David De Gea situation. Jason Bart, terms have been agreed with David De Gea over a new deal at Man United, but both parties are unsure as to whether it will be signed. Now, if United happen to sign Andre Onana between today and Friday, or before the 30th of June, then David De Gea will be out. But if they don't sign in any player, any goalkeeper, that means they'll have to find themselves in a situation of really signing David De Gea, because the easiest way to secure a deal on the cheap of a goalkeeper is when you're having a goalkeeper there like David De Gea and then you sign one before he leaves. But the moment you let him leave and you go at Inter Milan to go in and really put in your bid, it's going to be rejected until you meet the realistic amount of money they want, because they know that that's the only option you've got to get in a player like him. So, your thoughts on to Rabiot to United talks resume are welcome in the comment section below. What do you make about David De Gea? Contract not yet signed. There is a lot of dilemma into that deal. And last one being about Sancho, Harry Maguire, and Scott McTominay up for sale. I cover you all in the precious blood of Jesus Christ. I'm out for now.